On January 23rd, 2018, DDR Jake posted a normal dev diary for the then unannounced 1.25 England patch. All we knew at the time was that the devs were working on the British Isles. However, this dev diary would change all of EU4 forever. Instead of reading about new flavor or content for the British Isles, DDR Jake told us we would be learning about the new mission system. Previously, you were offered 3 missions that you could select or cancel to get a new batch of missions. All of this would change in 1.25 with the introduction of mission trees. Instead of choosing between 3 at random, you could see all of your missions in a neatly organized tree running from top to bottom. Each mission had a set of requirements and rewards and would unlock missions further down the tree to be unlocked. This mechanic would be very different from the previous mission system. One of the questions that was answered was, "How moddable is this?" To which DDR Jake replied, "Extensively." But no one could foreshadow just how extensive this would be. So what are these 3 missions discussed in the dev diary? Well, this is it. Yeah, if you started playing EU4 after the 1.25 England patch, you are probably really confused by this. What's immediately apparent is that there's no separate missions tab in the menu. Instead, missions, policies, and decisions are all located on the same tab. There are some generic missions, like to improve prestige and relations. Some more engaging but still generic ones, like conquering a province or wiping a nation from the map. And there are nation-specific ones, like the Ottoman tree. These missions are really similar to the tree that we have now, except you obviously can't see the entire thing. So like the current tree system, there are requirements and rewards you can hover over. In the case of the Ottomans, finishing the City of the World's Desire unlocks Conquer the Byzantine Empire. After that, we once again have 3 choices between improve our prestige, improve relations with Kandar, and safeguard Anatolia. Then we have conquer Kaffa, vassalize Wallachia, and conquer Mesopotamia. And now we're back to generic ones like protect our brethren in Qasr Ibrim and remove Albania from the map. What surprised me is that despite these missions seeming quite generic, only giving you requirements for conquering a neighboring country, apparently you can straight up run out of missions. After the month tick, I only got 1 more mission, and after that, there weren't any more. Although I could swear the Ottomans had more missions than this. To be honest, I probably broke the tree at some point, but because it's not visible from day 1 except for going into the game files or the wiki, we can never know. And let me give a quick shout out to the old estates. Instead of having privileges, you had these buttons you pressed every few decades. You also didn't have crownland, rather your estates owned actual provinces in your country and gave certain bonuses to said provinces. I started as a bunch of different nations to see what their starting missions would be like, and this is what they look like. Imagine going from this and this to this and this. I think we can all agree that this was a very positive change for EU4. Mission trees have made playing the game much more immersive and clear in many different ways. Since you can see them from the beginning, it's much easier to get a rough idea of how your game can progress. If you weren't going for a more specific goal, such as an achievement or world conquest, then a mission tree gives you the guide on what to do in your campaign, although the requirements and rewards may be a bit tricky to understand for complete beginners. Mission trees also give significant flavor and historical immersion, especially when tied to events. Since most nations have unique trees, this makes the game much more historically accurate, and gives you a much better idea of the circumstances and affairs going on. Just look at the Ottoman tree as an example. It's mostly accurate to their actual rise in history. Mod developers can also greatly expand on this immersion and realism. Just look at this, man. Mission trees can become even more useful to a campaign's immersion with branching missions. Although they haven't been used as much as they could have, they present the player with a very unique opportunity to go down mutually exclusive branches. Because the size and modifiers of mission trees are relevant to the nations they're designed for, some of the more powerful nations receive really strong bonuses after completing their trees. For example, Austria and the Mughals both have administrative efficiency as a reward for completing their trees. And in the end of the day, clicking things is just satisfying. That's the biggest reward that a mission tree can offer, something to click. All of these things which contribute to EU4's awesomeness was all provided by a single decision to replace the classic mission system with mission trees. With EU5 around the corner, we can only wonder how much better trees might get with quality, quantity, branching missions, and other additions that make it possible for all of us to sink thousands of hours into it. And for fun, do you think I should try to play a campaign in 1.24 or an even earlier patch to really get a feel for how different it would be to not have trees?